Hey guys, John here at Havoc Maker Studio. Hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. So, I want to talk about top 10 convention prep tips that you might want to go ahead and pay attention to, especially if you're going to any sort of tabletop wargaming convention, historical convention, maybe a gun show or an outdoor camping survival show, or like an RPG con like Gen Con, right? A gaming convention. So, these are some tips that I've learned from over the decades of attending games, conventions, and running some, and also talking with other convention goers and kind of getting, hey, these are do's and don'ts. And we want to pass it on to you guys. Just keep in mind that I am not telling you have to do these. Some of these you might want to consult with your doctor or nutritionist or Google, whatever works best for you. So let's get it right into this. Number 10, daily essentials. This seems like a no-brainer, but you'll be surprised if people forget these things. So if you're going to a convention or if you're going on any sort of vacation, make sure that you have enough of your daily essentials. By that, I mean your clothing, your toiletries, your medicine, and please deodorant. So if you're going to be going for 7 days, like I'm going for 7 days to Gen Con, I'm going to make sure I have 7 days worth of clothes plus 1 day. That is my big recommendation. You have an extra day's worth of clothes because accidents happen. You spill food on your clothes. Maybe it's really hot in the convention center and the AC goes out and you're sweaty and nasty all day long. You don't want to be stuck with that. So make sure that you have that extra set of clothes just if you don't need it, great. If you do need it, you're fine. Everything works out. So toiletries, make sure you got all your stuff, brush your teeth, your lotions, your makeup, whatever it is that you need for your cleanliness and prep work for your appearance, right? Medicines. If you take medicines, especially life-saving medicines for like the people that are diabetic or you got heart conditions or whatnot, please don't forget your medicines. Make sure that you write those down just like that image shows right on the screen. Write all this stuff down, guys, and check it off. I've made a Google document to where I've got all my items on there and I've printed off and I check everything off the day before. So something to think about. All right. Now, if you don't take medicines, I'm still going to recommend you take some antacids and or pain relievers like Tylenol or ibuprofen, Aleve, because first, you're going to be eating a lot of weird, greasy, or rich food, especially at the longer conventions. Convention food might taste really good at the time, but your stomach is going to be like, no. We're going to make you pay for that one. So having an antacid is going to be good for you. And the pain relievers are going to be good because you're going to be up and down all around, moving and standing and sitting all day long, and your body is going to be going through lots of different stresses that you wouldn't even think was stress, but it's happening. So having that, especially midday or late at night, is going to be a little bit of a reliever for you. Deodorant, please, for all that is true and holy in the world. Wear deodorant, bring deodorant, and when you go to the convention hall, bring the deodorant with you. Put it in your backpack and have it because it's going to wear off. It's going to. It might say it's all day relief, 24 hours. It's going to lie to you. Reapply as needed. All right. So hygiene, weird one. I know, but let's go ahead and talk about hygiene. So please pay attention to this one. Gentlemen, especially you younger gentlemen and ladies occasionally, or even the older folks. You know what? Everybody that does this. There we go. When you're washing your clothes and getting them ready for the convention, make sure that you use the right amount of laundry detergent and on the right rinse cycle. Why? Because sometimes we overload the detergent, fabric softener, or we don't put on the right rinse cycle or right cycle for washing, and it leaves that deodorant or the detergent and the fabric softener are both in there, and then it gets baked into the dryer. And when we start sweating, even if we have deodorant on, we got that body odor going on, and it's mixing with that summertime fresh meadow mandarin orange lavender mix that you got, and it creates a very unique odor. So make sure you wash your clothes properly, and you shouldn't have any sort of problems. So cleanliness. Now the cleanliness part, I want you guys to pay attention to. This is not because you're not being clean. It's just you're at a convention and you're around hundreds or thousands of people picking up their germs. Sorry, germaphobes. You're breathing the same air as them, the pollens they're carrying from their location to here. There's a lot of gunk in the air, and it's on you. We don't really think about it too much because we have natural immune systems and whatnot, but take your time when you get home or back to your hotel room, take that shower before you go to bed. Clean yourself up thoroughly. It's gonna pay off, especially when you're trying to sleep, and then you wake up nice and refreshed in the morning. And wear your deodorant. I talked about it before, but wear your deodorant, wear it, and take it with you during the convention. It will help you and help others. Thank you. Now, plan your must-sees and to-dos. This applies across the board, not just for the things that you want to do or see at the convention, but maybe see outside, because you're going to have time outside of the convention, or when the convention closes. Maybe you want to go see a museum, go to a movie theater, go to a park. Maybe there's a local game store that you've always wanted to go to. You're going to want to go do this stuff. So have that plan written down, ready to go. It's going to help you. Have a map, all right? Like I've got this map printed off for the exhibit hall, and I've got a map printed off for where the hotel is that I'm going to be staying at and running games at for Evil Genius Games. So make sure that you have these things ready to go. It's going to help you in the long run. So also print off your directions to the convention. That means whether it's like, the map, or you got it, the written directions or the type directions where it's like, take a right on whatever boulevard and go 600 feet to the highway, and now you're on I-59er Delta Charlie for 222 miles, whatever. Have that written down, because GPSs sometimes don't work, or your phone might run out of juice and you forgot to bring your charger cord. So have those written out or printed out. It's going to help you in the long run, especially if you're not at the hotel of the convention, like I am. Have those directions from your hotel to the convention hall. Mark locations of interest at the convention and outside of the convention. You might, like I said, you might want to go to a museum or another game store, something to go do. Also, your food places that you want to go to when you're not eating at the convention. You're going to want go and mark down where the hospital is. You might want to know where that is just in case. God forbid that anything happens, but knowing where the hospital is going to be very nice. And of course, the food locations. There are going to be hundreds or thousands of people swarming that immediate area. So you might need to start planning ahead and knowing where the restaurants are, and maybe even calling in advance, getting reservations, or going outside of the immediate area for locations to eat. All right, especially after the convention. So print your schedule. And by this, I mean, not necessarily, hey, I'm going to leave at 8 a.m. on day one. We're going to do this by 9 p.m., whatever. You're going to want to have your schedule of your events that you're going to be doing. That way, when your free time is, when your scheduled game time is, and you can kind of plan accordingly. Okay. Like for me, example, Thursday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., I'm running a game. And I know that I've got the rest of the day free. So I planned everything out like, hey, let's go to these booths from this time to this time. I'm going to take a class at 3 p.m. So I know I've got all these things going on during that day. Like Friday, I know that at least from 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., I'm going to be working at the Evil Genius Games booth. So please come on by and say hi. That's booth 737. We look forward to seeing you there. Pick up a copy of Everyday Heroes. All right, so moving on from number 6, let's go to number 5. Set your alarms. Please, this is a big no-brainer. Don't be late to the event. You have spent a lot of money and time and energy to go to the convention. Don't miss it, all right? Set your alarm. Make sure you're up at a reasonable time. Go to bed at a reasonable time. Get to the convention, enjoy it, because you're also the people that are putting on the convention, especially all the events that you're going to, they're setting their time aside, their free time aside, to entertain you, to run you through these amazing adventures or tournaments, and it's being courteous to show up on time. Now, number 4, gaming essentials. This is important. Please pay attention to this one, especially if you're going to gaming conventions. Make sure you have your dice. I would recommend a second set of dice. 2 sets of dice. 2 sets of dice is what I'm going to really recommend. But let's say 1 set of dice. If you're one of those very extremely rare people that only have that 1 set of polyhedral dice, cool. If you're like everybody else, go ahead and pick from your menagerie of dice collections which ones you're going to need. All right, you got that taken care of. Rule books, whatever rule books that you need, physical or if you're running digital, make sure you have those prepped and ready to go. If you are running digital, make sure your tablet or your laptop, whatever it is that you're using, is fully charged. Please make sure it's fully charged. Character sheets, a lot of pre-gen events will have pre-gen characters, but there's some like D&D Adventures and I believe Pathfinder is another one of those games where you can bring your whatever the community is called, that you can bring your the Adventures League. You can bring your characters with you. So make sure that you have that with you. And who knows, maybe if you don't need it with you, there might be a pickup game later on. Like, hey, we need another player. We don't have a character. We need about 5th level. Ooh, I've got a 5th level AD or a Adventure League character. Oh, cool. Come on over here. And you're in. You're having a great game. A great time because you prepped ahead of time. Miniatures. If you got a favorite miniature for your favorite character or the games that you're going to be attending, bring your favorite miniatures. Right? Show off your collection of miniatures, whether they're painted or not. And if you're going to go to a wargaming convention, make sure that you go through your army list and check off every single unit that you require to have for that event. Please do that. You don't want to be the one to miss out. Tools. If you're going to a wargaming event, you're going to want your measuring tools, RPGs, and miniature wargamings will have sometimes cards, player cards, or character cards, or mission cards, whatever it is that you're going to be required, or it will help your gameplay. Bring those, pack those, put them on your list, and once again, dice. Don't forget your dice. Put it in your checklist of things that you're going to check off. Let's move on to number 3. This is kind of I don't know how to feel about this one, but we're going to talk about it anyways. Number 3, behavior. Please don't block the aisles. We don't want to be a nuisance to other people. We want to be courteous because we want everybody to enjoy the experience. So don't block the aisles. What do I mean by that? There's a certain flow that goes back and forth at a convention. And you don't want to be in the flow, basically in the lane, moving and then stop right in the middle of everybody's flow, right? If there's a booth that you want to go into the booth or step up closer to the booth, get out of people's way. That way you aren't getting bumped, you're not bumping other people, you're not disrupting the flow of traffic, and you can engage with that booth and those people that spent time and money, effort, energy to set up that booth to draw you in, and they come all this way. They want to interact with us, whether we know what their product is or not. Go ahead and interact because it's going to be a good experience for everybody. All right, don't rule lawyer with the GM. Just let it go. All right, this is not a hardcore, unless it is a hardcore tournament, really for the role-playing games, unless it's like, hey, sorry, GM, you're wrong. For fighters, first-class fighter or first-level fighters have the action surge ability. I don't know if it's first level, but so you're wrong about that. It's right here in the rule book. Okay, that makes sense. But everything else, don't nitpick. Just let it go, because these events, especially when they're running con modules, they have a particular time frame to not only prep you guys before and after the game, or talk to you after the game, but also to run the game. And if we bog it down with nitpicking every little rule, it really kind of ruins the game and the experience. Don't tell other players how to play their character or to run their class. If they ask you, hey man, how do I do this? Oh, you've got this ability, so you can do this. Oh, okay, thank you. But don't go, if I was your character, I'd be doing this. Thanks for your unsolicited advice, but I'm going to do this instead. Just don't tell them what to do. If they ask, be helpful. Show up on time. We talked about it earlier. Definitely show up on time and be aware of your surroundings. We bump into each other because there's so much going on. There's such a spectacle going on at these conventions that we are so focused on what's going on around us or what's right in front of us. We might bump into people either moving forward or back. So just kind of be aware of your surroundings. Kind of goes back to don't block the aisle. Just check yourself. It's like, oh my God, what is this? What's going on? Take a second, go, okay, let me look around. I don't want to bump into people. Okay, let's focus in. What is this product? This is amazing. And then they'll go on and you don't have to worry about hurting anybody or getting hurt, bumping into people, whatever. Just be aware of your surroundings, ladies and gents. All right, moving on. Meals. Meals. Have a great, solid, full breakfast. Don't skimp on breakfast. They say it's the most important meal of the day. I agree. This is going to fuel the rest of your day. I would recommend proteins, good carbs. Like for me would be egg whites if I'm lucky, egg whites or eggs, sausages. If I can get some juices and fruits in there, maybe some toast with some jam or jelly, whatever you want to call it. Having that available to me is going to be really good, fuel me for the rest of the day. Same thing with my lunch. I have a reasonable lunch. Usually I will bring my lunch with me, usually a sandwich, not loaded with tons of junk, just really a basic sandwich, meat and cheese and bread, chips. I have some fruit and veggies with me just so I can have the energy and I'm not knocking back junk food. Dinner, I still say reasonable dinner, but sometimes, let's face it, we're going to go out and eat at some restaurant afterwards and it's going to be really good and it's not going to be very healthy for us, but just be reasonable. And by that, I mean, avoid the fast foods, guys and gals. Avoid it as much as possible. I know it's hard, but avoid it. That's why, I bring my lunch. I have a good breakfast at the hotel and I plan for my dinner later on in the evening. I would avoid too much soda and put a caveat in there, too many energy drinks. The sugars or the stuff that goes into the energy drinks, they're going to be great. You're going to have that nice boost, but you are going to crash fast. So if you have good food in you, you have good drinks like Gatorade, juices, water, you're not going to crash and you're going to have a kind of a better experience overall. And of course, please don't overeat because then you're going to be really, really sluggish on top of everything else from the fast food and the soda. You're not going to be feeling good. You're going to want to go lay down or go sit in the recliner and pass out watching TV. You know what I'm talking about. We all have done it. And include food into your planning. I talked about that earlier. Number one thing I'm going to recommend is your snacks. Make sure that you have the best snacks. Avoid the candies, too much soda and energy drinks, overeating, like I said, but definitely avoid the candies, except maybe funnel cake. I know, funnel cake is so good. I'm getting really hungry. Avoid candies and the sodas, just like the sodas, they get a good sugar rush and it kind of fills you up. And then about 30, 45 minutes later, like sodas, like energy drinks, you're done, right? So I'm going to recommend high energy snacks, fruits, veggies, trail mix, nuts. If you're allergic to any of that, please, for the love of all that's true and holy, do not eat it. That's on you if you voluntarily do that. Energy bars. I'm not talking like protein shakes or protein bars. I'm talking like Cliff bars, or I think they're called sweet and salties. Anything that's just like a good energy booster, good all around natural food. If you want granola bars, okay. There's the nature bars or Nutri bars or whatever, something that's going to be good. I carry usually carrots and celery with me. I always try to have an apple or a banana throughout the day. 2 or 3 times during that day, you're going to want a snack, and having the right snack is going to be good for you. And hydrate. Please hydrate. I know that there's water in your coffee and your soda and all that stuff. It's not the same thing. Drink water, at least 1 bottle of water per day. I would recommend having a bottle with you at all times. Go refill it at the fountain, and hydrate with Gatorade. Even getting like the little powder Gatorade packs, mix it in with your water. That cuts down on your carrying, the things you have to carry around with you, or the bulk. Have that available. That's going to be really good, especially about mid to late in the day. Having that Gatorade is really going to help you out. And the last thing is to have fun. For the love of everything that you've ever experienced in your life, have fun at the convention that you're going to, because you just paid all that money, all that wonderful, very easy planning to have the best experience at the convention. Make sure that you're there having fun. The prep work is just to get you there. And once you're there, you're doing everything. It's just going to flow. And it's going to be nice and easy. You're going to have a good time. You're going to hit all your P's and Q's, go to all the booths that you want to go to, see all the cosplayers you want to, buy all the merchandise that you want to. You're going to be able to have all the fun. Just make sure that you go there with the intention of having fun. And if you're not having fun, take a step back. Maybe go outside. Take a big, deep breath. Kind of roll your shoulders, stretch a little bit, go back in, and have fun, guys and gals. It's the most important thing, since we just went all the way to this convention. Let's have fun. All right, my name is John. This is Havoc Maker Studio, and if you have a suggestion for a prep tip for any sort of convention, go ahead and put it in the comments below, and I'll chat with you guys later. See ya.